Ready? Florida Explorer here. We're at DeLeon Springs State Park. This is DeLeon Springs. We came here today for this natural wonderment, but also because of the history of this place. Excuse me. There have been people living here, archaeologists estimate, for 6,000 years. Behind us here are the remains which they've seen fit to build a house upon of an aboriginal midden and or burial mound and or temple mount. We don't know because somebody built the building on top of it, but archaeologists also suggest that at one point this entire area was rimmed with these structures and that they were much higher at that point because of the number of people living here taking their shellfish remains out of the springs and stacking them up. Also, Aboriginal people in Florida lived on mounds because they were higher than the trees. Also, the nobles lived there, but being higher than the trees would mean that you would get the breezes, you'd be away from the mosquitoes, things like that. So that's part of the reason for living on those middens and mounds. But also, you got to have somewhere to throw your trash. You got to have somewhere to bury people. You got to have somewhere where for the bigwigs to live. So middens are that. In 1836, well, let me go back a moment or two. In the 1820s, the first people came down here. The first European people came down here, bought this land, started a plantation on this land. According to the paintings, the plantation house was over there somewhere. It wasn't a great big huge structure. It was simply basically a cabin. But the guy owned a lot of land. He had a lot of people working the land. They milled sugar cane in this area over here. It wasn't that structure. That structure was much later. The Seminole Indians came through in 1836, burnt everything down, essentially occupied these grounds for 2 years before the Federal Army came down and got rid of them. The militia came down from St. Augustine and Jacksonville a few times, but were unable to dislodge the Indians, and so it took the military in 1838 to come down and run them off, kill them, enslave them, whatever. This structure here is now a restroom area and a visitor area, but it was once the DeLeon Springs Hotel, built in the 1920s, and thrived here until I think it was the 60s, 1961 or something like that. In that area, and then basically that was destroyed, deteriorated, wasn't rebuilt. The state took this over at some point, built this. The Sugar Mill Restaurant, which is a really cool place, we're going to go in there and see some stuff soon, is the site, and that's like 115 years old right now, but it's the site of the original mill. The mill was the only sugar mill in the state of Florida that was operated or what's the word? Not energized, powered by water. Everything else was oxen or horses or something like that. But here, the mill stones were generated by the paddle wheel over there, which we can hardly see from here, but we'll be able to see when we go over there. And the spring is a magnitude 1, I'm pretty sure, but it pumps out a lot of water, so it would have turned that wheel all night, all day. So they probably would have had people working in here all night, all day. We're going to walk over here now, and we're going to pause it.